And welcome to the latest episode of From the Rubble, which is my post-apocalyptic world in heavily modded Minecraft. And as you may or may not remember, we've been working on setting up the central core of our base for the survivors that we will assemble from this broken world. And we're still working out the template for that central core. The central core is, of course, going to be where elevator shafts are located, as well as a ramp that coils up and around to the surface. And you can see that right here. Now, we faced some challenges. One is that we need to build this out of light gray concrete, and the materials for light gray concrete aren't really exotic or anything. It's just that it's a complicated process. So there's all of that, and we at some point we will automate that so that it's a lot faster and smoother. But right now we also have a problem that we gotta dig, and we've been digging upwards. And this is complicated by the fact that we seem to be in a very active seam in terms of hostile mobs, and that's further complicated by the fact that I'm playing with Atomic Striker's infernal mobs, and that gives us the dreaded purple sparkles, where in the last episode we unleashed a horde of silver fish, and one of the silverfish had the dreaded purple sparkles and really bounced me around a bit. And that we're talking to silverfish, so that's what we're up to now. Oh boy! But I do like how things are coming together. I do like the shape of things as they are now. You can see we were doing quite a bit of digging, and there will be quite a bit of digging in this episode, I think. You can see how I expanded up a bit, and you can see where I left off. But you know, the trick here is that everything's still very, very open. So a lot of the material that we dig falls, and we got to go clean it up. And you know, this is a interesting juxtaposition from why can't I not? I see the icon. Okay, see the icon, that I should be able to place it. Okay, now it's working. Anyway, it's an interesting juxtaposition, because one of the things that has that slows me down is, like, you know, I will cut a bunch of material, a lot of it will fall all over the place because this is Minecraft, and then I got to stop and pick it all up lest it will despawn. And lately I've been playing games like Icarus and Enshrouded and things like that, where there are despawn mechanics, but they're much more relaxed than they are in Minecraft. And so I could be more like I could go and clear out. Whoa! Okay, so I panicked and dropped the pickaxe I had in my hand. Whoa! I did not jump, I got pulled. I'm looking for somebody with purple sparkles. Oh, so in this case, it was an instant Zerg, because I'm using a pickaxe enchanted with excavate, and so it's digging 9 blocks at a time, and I just, you know, zipped up, what, 5 layers rapid succession. So I unleashed a horde of silverfish all at the same time. And then freaked out and hit all the wrong buttons. Oh gosh. What was I talking about? Not gravity. So, you know, like with those other games, I could just do all the excavating I need for a level and then just soak up all the material at once type of thing. Here, it's a lot of do a little excavation, pick up the pieces, do a little excavation, pick up the pieces. And since we're now kind of this really awkward little stage where we've built up higher than I can jump easily, so going up and going down is a non-trivial task, yet it's a necessary and frequent task. This should help. So yeah, that's the deal. But I am loving how this is turning out. Now, I was thinking about this a lot. You know, I really want to thank the subscribers, and especially thank the channel members for their enthusiastic support to me for the past 2.5 years, because the thing about this, where these series that I've been creating, I mean, obviously I do them because I think there is value in them, and I think there's value from episode 0, right? But I've always thought that where the maximum value is going to come into play is when these series get very well established and we have lots of content that we've generated, and the living, breathing world is really living, breathing, and lots of stuff's happening. We are nowhere near that point in any of my series, and yet I think people have been enjoying these series. They have certainly been very vocal in support, and I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate that, because that's what makes all this possible, right? So I guess what I'm saying is I've always thought that this channel would have a certain measure of success based off of this Let's Build content. It's just that I always figured it would be after I had been running a given series for like 2 years or so, and you know, some of my series are now a year old, some of my active series, so we're getting there. But the success I've had even before we got to that point is quite amazing to me, and so just want to thank everyone for that. I never could have or would have expected that level of success. And you know, in a side note, one of the topics that's near and dear to my heart is the viability of Let's Play series, right? There's an ongoing debate. Of course, there's been an ongoing debate about the death of Let's Play series ever since Let's Play series started up, you know, 15 years or so ago. And, you know, spoiler alert, they're not dead. They're not as popular as they used to be, or I think it might be perhaps more accurate to say that other forms of content have caught up in popularity and maybe even passed it. So there's that. But I don't think it's dead. But one of the things I do find interesting, as you know, the whole point of this channel was, I mean, I always thought that I wanted to share my work with other people, and that's what I'm doing. But I've said it before and I'll say it again, the videos I make, the channel I have, represents the videos I want to watch, the channels I would like to see, right? And what's interesting when they talk about like the death of Let's Plays, I've been doing this now almost 3 years. And over all that time, while I'm doing my content, of course, I'm always out looking for others who are making similar content, right? And I found some fantastic channels, and sometimes I've even mentioned them here. But the problem is like, with the exception of one of those channels, and that one, it's not much of an exception anymore. All those channels that were making great Let's Play content, they've all died. They've all just disappeared into the ether, right? It looks to me like a year is about how long people will put into this. And, this was content where people had a good on-camera personality. They were generating content that was interesting to watch. They had some great designs when they're building. I loved, as the series progressed, how you could see their community grew. It just got better and better and better, and then they stopped. Now, I get it, right? Like, for some of these people, I know one of them was a grad student, and she started spinning up her post-grad work, and so that's probably taken all of her time and energy. But some of the others, it's just really good stuff, and then they just stopped. And each one is going to be a separate case. What drives any given creator into or away from YouTube? It's going to be based on that one individual creator. But I really think that a lot of people either burn themselves out, or they have some idea of like a golden goose that they expect the channel to produce, right? Channel's just gonna take off and dump money into your bank account and everything will be awesome. It's safe to say that being a creator in YouTube is not as lucrative as it used to be, right? And I would argue that for the vast number of people, it was never lucrative, right? I mean, when you talk about the people who really make money at YouTube, they're people who have channels that tie into some other non-YouTube business, right? And, like, for example, a guy who does instructional videos on, like, how to do things around the house, such as, like a patch drywall or something like that. But it's also tied to his handyman business. So, you can see the videos and say, wow, this guy, I learned a lot from this guy, but I also need somebody to actually just come in and do it for me. It's free advertising, and those types of businesses really thrive. But when you talk about Let's Play, there's no content that you're really tying to. I mean, if somebody builds some really memorable character, these ones need 9. I thought they needed 4. If you're generating some memorable characters and storyline stuff, you might be able to come up with some T-shirts and swag that people want to buy. But for Let's Play, that's kind of like an accelerator, right? You've already been successful, and that just pushes things along. But you really don't have the nobody has a video game playing business, and that the Let's Plays bring additional business through the door, right? If there was such a thing, I'd be at the very front of that line. But and I think this is what kills people, and that is too bad, because, like I said, some of this content was really fabulous, and I really miss these people. I really miss these creators. I mean, that's just where it comes out. And I'm at a point now where I think I'm ready to work with other creators to kind of come up with marketing approaches and ways that we can leverage each other. I mean, the collaboration feature they added for creators in YouTube is confusing as all get out, but now that I understand it a whole lot better, I think that is a fantastic tool that I would love to start leveraging. But the pool of creators I have available to me that I think it would work with, it's pretty limited, right? There's some big names in there, and they think that would be fabulous, but you know, big name people, how do you reach them? Whoa, excuse me. Spider in the garden. Okay. And then we have the usual crew of morning asthmatics and heavy smokers getting up, clearing their lungs. Anyway, yeah, you know, the big name guys, I think they could really do small channels a huge service by allowing us to collaborate with them, right? You know, because collaboration basically will allow you to put your video in front of somebody else's subscribers. That's essentially what it does, right? If two creators with channels that each have 10,000 subscribers, and they collaborate on a video, the guy who made the video still gets the monetization, everything for the video, but when he collaborates with the other creator, what it's going to do is it's going to treat that other guy's 10,000 subscribers just like the first guy's 10,000 subscribers, and so your video is going to pop up in both of their feeds, right, under subscriptions. And that's, you know, think about that, right? Like in this particular example, I picked two guys with 10,000 subscribers. It effectively doubles your exposure right off the bat. That's awesome. Now you take somebody like Gemini Tay or Paul Soares Jr. with well over 1 million subscribers, and you know, if they were collaborating with small creators like myself, you know, because I got 1,200 subscribers, right? But if I was able to get my video in front of, you know, 1.2 million subscribers, it could dramatically increase the number of people who are aware of me and aware of my content. And that's the beauty of this, is if we could grab now, you know, that's the beauty of if we tap into somebody with a lot of subscribers, but like I said, they're not likely to talk to you. But if we could get, say, 10 channels with 1,000 subscribers each, and do a collab between the 10 of us, for each of us, right? We only have 1,000 subscribers, yet when that video goes out, the collaboration is going to essentially send it out to 10,000 subscribers. And that's an incredible leverage. And if you're able to do that every single video, then everything that any one of you is doing is helping all of you. That's awesome, right? And when we talk about the death of Let's Play, I don't think it's dead. And I think it's actually doing well, but I think one of the hardest things is, you know, as somebody who's interested in Let's Play content myself, it's kind of hard to find. And, you know, like if you just do a simple search, there is a Let's Play channel that pretty much monopolizes the search results, which is a brilliant piece of marketing on their behalf. But the thing is it's almost impossible to like filter that to get somebody else, right? To just find actual Let's Play videos. So, and that's also because despite the fact that YouTube is a powerful search engine, the ability to manipulate and filter your results is kind of limited, right? I mean, I think Amazon does a better job of giving me filtering options than YouTube does. So anyway, that's all water under the bridge. Now I have a lot of material with which to make concrete, but the limiting factor here is really my ability to color the concrete. I can't just make concrete. I have to make concrete of a given color when I create it. And in this case, I need light gray, and the limiting factor is the amount of white I can create. I need bone meal for that. And the good news is a little bone meal goes a long way, right? So 5 bone meal gives me 5 white. I need some of this charcoal that I'm going to use to make black. Then we mix the black with the white. That will give me gray. Right? And then if I mix the gray with the white, I get the light gray. And that, I mean, that it is pretty efficient in how much I get. The problem is I just need such a crazy amount. So 4 stacks of slag, 4 stacks of sand, as much dye as I got, and that's quite a bit of concrete powder. Now we'll need to cure that, but you can see I still have plenty of material for concrete. I just need more dye. And for the record, the concrete that you walk on every day and you see every day, they don't dye that. That's just the color of concrete normally. So I need to clear things up a little bit. I'm going to dump the water and then ditch the bucket and pick up the water with a metal bucket, and that's better. Where'd it go? There we go. So I can hear the composting is done. Where'd it go? Oh. Oh, I need space. So let's just move some stuff around for now. Let's get some of this gravel slagging. And I'll just keep the dyes in here because this is where I'm going for the white stuff anyway. So what we need though is we need some fuel for the operations on the surface. So I'll grab a full stack. I think what I need to do is to consider what my options are in terms of using my windmill to generate energy for the pulverizer up here. Right now, The windmill is generating energy that I'm using for my washing operation, which is fine. But the bigger issue is really keeping the grinder going. Not just quite out of reach. There we go. Now I have the builder's editions for the create mod, and it gives me an alternator that creates RF energy out of something like a spinning windmill or a water wheel. So that might be an option right there. I think though it requires some advanced materials I don't have access to yet. I mean, I'll have to take a look, but also need to expand the windmill. When we built it, I built it with the materials I had on hand, but it wasn't quite enough to max it out. And so I think that if I do max it out, this fan would operate with a little more oomph, and I'd be able to reach across all 4 depots. So I could basically increase my throughput by 33%. And this weather that I'm walking through, it's very similar to the weather we've had here in my sector for the past couple weeks. Unfortunately, like I've told you in the past, right? People think it rains here all the time, and it doesn't. It does rain a lot though, but we don't get like a lot of rain. We get a lot of moisture, right? Which the difference is we get cloudy days with like a misty, drizzly fog, which means not a lot of water is actually coming out of the sky. It's certainly gloomy and gray and damp, but it's kind of unusual for us to get like actual rain. And the past couple weeks, we've been getting lots of actual rain, so much so that the ground can't hold it anymore. And we're having that's also a danger, because with the water, if the ground can't hold it anymore, the water goes all over the place, and so we have all sorts of flooding. But also, when the ground can't hold anymore, the ground is soft, and it doesn't take much stress or pressure, and it breaks away. And we're having roads and hillsides wash out with landslides all over the place. Currently, 54 miles of US 2 between the Everett area and actually I think the cutoff is Skycomish. So it's between Skycomish and Leavenworth. That, and the problem with that is besides some beautiful country, that is like the main corridor for some of the biggest ski resorts in the area. And the ski resorts are having a hard time too, because with all the rain, normally that would be snow in the mountains, but we've had record-breaking heat. Now it's not hot; it's a lot warmer than it should be, and as a result, we're not getting as much snow in the mountains. So ski resorts are struggling to have decent ski conditions, and now they're struggling to be able to get people to those ski conditions. It's going to be a bad year for us, even more so too, because we count on a lot of snow in the mountains, and then over the course of the spring and the summer, the snow melts, and so that water comes to us in stages, right? We kind of have a constant source of fresh water. Man, they are loud. A constant source of fresh water coming to us all through those seasons. By the time fall rolls around, the mountains have pretty much given up their load, and then lather, rinse, and repeat for the next year. But right now, we're not. All that water's coming out of the mountains, and if you ever look up Snoqualmie Falls, it's a beautiful waterfall that's near my house normally, and it's like I said, it's normally beautiful. But right now, there's so much water going through it. It is fearsome. It's awesome. I wouldn't want to live that close to it right now, but it's just the sheer amount of water coming out of the mountains and the hills, and you know, like I said, it's still falling today. Tomorrow we get a break, but then we got more rain after that. I mean, normally we kind of hope for a white Christmas, which is pretty rare around here, but right now I think most people are really hoping for a green and dry Christmas. So, anyway, those of you in the southern hemisphere, though, that's not a big problem at the moment. Well, maybe your summer is the wet season, because this is your summer. But man. And of course, all this agricultural produce we will soon be using to make tasty tidbits, but also one of these things is not like the other. Huh. How? When? Why? I mean, nobody else is here, so I know who. That's the only answer I have. Oh, gosh. Nope, that's an eggplant. Okay, this is bizarre. And I got 3 sadie root. Oh, I got 4. Okay, 4 sadie root seeds. Oh, I got 7. So, no, that's not right. That's radishes. So the sadie root seeds goes here. Now, I do know there is kind of a perpetual motion or a perpetual energy loop that you can do with the thermal series. I believe I saw that in a video a long time ago by Mischief of Mice. By the way, if you like good in-depth mod explainer videos, Mischief of Mice, you check him out. He's awesome. He's also the community coordinator for Vintage Story. So most of his new content nowadays is all Vintage Story based. So, but the stuff that he has, his old stuff that for like, you know, thermal expansion stuff, it's still totally applicable, still quality stuff. Love that stuff. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he showed you how to do it. So we will do that. And then once we've got, oh, they give me seeds separate. Okay. Interesting. Oh, there we go. You know, once we start generating some serious power, we can go with some serious automation. And, you know, right now we're creating an infinite amount of cobblestone. So if we were to hook up the pulverizer to an infinite power source and just have it run 24/7, that would generate all the raw materials necessary for the concrete itself. I would still need, you know, to do the agricultural stuff to create the bone meal, to make the color. But that, okay, this is just something I got to think about, how I would want to do it, where I would want to do it. part of the thing too is I think it might be a time to expand our surface footprint a little bit. The ultimate size of the base is considerably bigger than what I've already outlined up there. It's just that, you know, that took a lot of material to get going in the first place. But, you know, now that we're generating gravel, and gravel's fantastic for filling up, you know, water spaces like that, we might go with that and get us some more working room up there to build this automation. Okay, let's pull this stuff out. Put it away. Again, if I have a full stack of something, then for now, the extra goes to the composter. Later, once we have a storage solution set up, it'll be half and half. You know, I'll produce food and seeds, and half will go into storage and half will go into the composter. When I fully automate it, I might have a dedicated field for just generating compost. Oh, I didn't realize I had so much slag. And I have a fair amount of sand. So, maybe I can make some more concrete right now. I mean, that is the point. Just need to remember where I put the dye. Oh, of course, I put it here. Because in theory, that would have been easy to remember, keeping it all in one spot. And then I forgot that I put it there. Okay. That's actually a fair bit of dye. Okay. So I have a lot of material. We're out of organic, so let's put this all back for now. I knew the bone meal would be kind of a problem. I didn't realize it would be this big of a bottleneck though. Let's go ahead and grab this stuff. That should help. We really do need to get that storage solution going, but you know, one of the key points of the central core that I'm working on is to actually, you know, set that up so that we have a way to get to the space we're going to reserve for storage. I mean, I could throw down a bunch of drawers now, but it's going to quickly explode into a big mess. Even as organized as I'll try to keep it, but so if you've been watching my other series, you can see that the Greifenhorst, we've actually we got that point to the storage, the core of the storage is built, and now we're expanding on it, and we're getting very close to where I think I could move all the material that we've been storing into the storage system, and at this point it would be fully functional. I mean, the only thing we would do is expand on it so that there's room for more material, different types of material, and better organization in the material. And that's exciting to me because when you play like survival games like this, you really have two different types of players. There's the players who are out really to just survive, right? So they're building or whatever. They don't stockpile huge amounts of material because that's not what they're into it, right? They're really just kind of passing through and just want to get it done and then move on. Then you have the builders like me, and yeah, we're settling in for the long run. The idea is we're going to shape and build and all that stuff, but that requires a huge amount of planning and preparation ahead of time, including the ability to store a phenomenal amount of material, because where it's not creative, it's storage. So I can't just whip up infinite stacks of something out of the air. I actually need to go generate infinite stacks of something and store it until I'm ready to use it. And that's where the challenge comes. So, but I look forward to it. I mean, and that's kind of going back to what I was originally saying about these series, right? Like, what we have here, I think has been an interesting and compelling story, but I really anticipate that for most people, this isn't it, right? When we get to the point where the base is starting to come online, there's defenses, we're reclaiming block by block the broken landscape, we're finding all sorts of weird stuff, and then we're replacing it with like new buildings and stuff, and the world is coming alive. I think that's when, like, this particular series will take off, right? And it's the same type of thing, like, say, New Londinium or Greifenhorst. There's a point where the grand vision that I've been talking about the whole time starts to actually take shape, and I think that's when people will really find it much more compelling. But this part that I'm doing, it's important. It is part of the story. In fact, it's also important to me because I need to put one here. It's important to me because one of the things I like about Let's Plays is I like to see how the sausage is made. There's two things. One, you learn a great deal about somebody, about how they organize their stuff and how they approach things and stuff like that. And not only do you learn it, but I think it's interesting to just see too how, like, they sometimes run into design flaws or whatever, and how they adapt to them, right? But at the same token too, it's all part of the process. So what I'm not looking for somebody who built Westeros in 1/4 scale in Minecraft and look at it, it's beautiful, because it might have been a team of 15 or 20 guys working in creative mode for 3 months, and at that point, it still is an impressive piece of work. But okay, I mean, I get it. Good for them, but it's not compelling to me. As opposed, these guys are trying to build Westeros in a survival world. Okay, and that will take considerably longer than 3 months, I assure you. But it is so much more compelling because, again, before you can just start laying down blocks, it's a survival world. You're going to have to be able to feed yourself, clothe yourself, protect yourself, and then start gathering materials, storing the materials, and preparing for construction. And then you're going to have the terraforming and stuff. All of this behind the backdrop of creepers and zombies and skeletons. That's, as they say with the hokey pokey, that's what it's all about. So I find that compelling. I find that truly compelling and interesting. And from this side of the experience, I think that's a lot more fun, right? I mean, like for example, I just emptying out that area down there and building the central core, I could do that without any problems by jumping creative mode. But I have to build walkways and be careful about what I mine, and then I still unleash a whole horde of silverfish, which probably took 5 minutes off of my lifespan. But this is this is important. This is part of the process. Not to get too grandpa-y on the whole thing, but I think part of the problem is we've become a society of instant gratifiers, right? We want it, and we want it now, and I think part of the problem is that we've lost something along the way. I remember I used to play a lot of Starbound, right? And Starbound is kind of like a Terraria, right? It's a 2D side scroller, but it's building a big open world, a lot like this. And I really, really loved it. But and I was building in it a lot like I do in this world, and or all my worlds, right? That's how I do these things. And I was getting aggravated because in that one you don't really have the ability to create materials. You have to find materials, and some of the materials I needed were really hard to find, so it really limited the size of the projects I could do, right? And that was really aggravating me. So you do a little search, you find out how you can spawn stuff in. So now I'm able to give myself infinite material without actually having to go find it, right? So I did that, and it killed the game for me, right? First of all, it killed that world, because then I was able to build the project the way I wanted it, but now I didn't appreciate the project because essentially I hit the easy button, right? And the end result, while it looked impressive, so somebody coming in from the outside and say, wow, that's pretty cool looking. For me, it was, like built with stolen blocks, basically. And it ruined the world because I couldn't take those blocks out of the world. I couldn't undo the damage I've done. And so that world was lost to me. And then I started a new world, but now I was just bummed, right? I don't think I've played Starbound since, which is too bad because I really enjoyed the game. But I think ultimately my interest will remain with 3D games, being in full physical space like this. And there you go. There you go. But so far, I've been remarkably lucky. We just had the silverfish. I mean, that wasn't a lucky run of silverfish, but it was since the only PCs I've even heard. So we'll just thank our lucky stars and press on. But now we have plenty of light gray concrete to work with. So we just need to open up some more space here, and then we can start working on continuing up to the second floor from the bottom. This floor down here is the where the platforms will be for our metro station, and then the next floor up will be the concourse, right? Basically the station itself. And then the floor above that is where we will have storage and workshops. And if you remember the episode where I showed you my grand plan, that's where these numbers and ideas are coming from. And then after that, it's a lot of atmospheric stuff, right? But see, once we can get the storage in place, then that's also going to be the time that we'll start working on the surrounding landscape, right? We want to tear down these ruined buildings, and that's easier said than done because they're full of monster spawners. They're hidden in the floors and the walls, and so we've seen on previous episodes when I was going treasure hunting in those buildings, you can easily find yourself overwhelmed with bad guys while crawling through those spaces. So we, you know, of course that's how we found Angus, but you know, but that's all good stuff. I'm looking forward to all of that. And it is the holiday season in our neck of the woods. Well, pretty much everyone's neck of the woods. So if there's one or more holidays that you celebrate this time of year, happy holidays. Okay. Showtime. Sounds like a zombie. I mean, it's hard to tell that those... Oh, yeah. Huh. Did I see sparkles? Did I see sparkles? This is gonna be problematic. Try to draw them out. I don't have any missile weapons. No gun, no arrows. Note to self. We need to start getting some chickens so that we can... Is he gone? I have no problem with that. Did he despawn? I'd say he fell down a hole, but if there's a hole that he's going to fall into, it's this one. Did I intimidate? Did he see like my tactical armor and say, "Ooh, I'm not messing with that dude"? Ran off. That is the least likely answer out of all of them, but yeah, we'll go with that. You know, until proven otherwise. I'm just paranoid about the whole sparkles thing. I swear to God, I see sparkles on everything. Oh, that's not imaginary sparkles. Ultra nigh unkillable zombie, the Zen Master. For the love of Pete, ultra nigh unkillable. Where is he? Oh, he's out there. Oh, whoa! He's... What is this guy? Ninja cloaking poisonous fiery 1-up regen. No! What is... I'm almost got him. Man. Look, I almost had him dead. Okay, he almost had me dead. Let me see. Where does he keep going? I hear the... Whoa! He just almost completely healed. I mean, he was almost dead, and then now he's almost completely healed. I'm almost dead. I could use an almost completely heal. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, I'm just gonna hang out here in the corner and... Or not. I guess. Get him down to half. Well, down to a quarter maybe. He's gone again. Okay, Pinhead, where are you now? I really need to quit bleeding on the floor. Oh, I think he's over there in that dead end. So that means we won't have to deal with him until I'm ready. Oh, man. Yeah, I hear ya. Okay. I'm about as patched up as I'm gonna be. I don't have missile weapons. I was kind of hoping I had stacks of gravel or something. But I don't. Let's see if we can bean them from up high. Hey, come here, Chuckles. Okay, well, he can't reach me. I can't reach him. That's kind of a standoff. So I'm going to go get some gravel. And what I'm going to do is use the gravel to block him in and then squeeze him to a point, and then I'm going to suffocate him. And let's see if that works. It's pretty cheesy. I go with that. But as you can see, just in the name, this guy is nigh unkillable. So that's the clue that this guy is not fun. I do have... Let's drop off some of this stuff while we're here. And I got some gravel, and then we grab a couple stacks of sand. Just any gravity block I can get my hands on. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty cheeseball, but where'd he go? Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. I mean, I guess it kind of is a break if they just took him away. But, I mean, I went through all that, and now you're going to take him away from me before I can get my revenge. Now I'm carrying a bunch of gravel and sand around that I don't want. Oh boy. Okay, well, that definitely got the blood flowing. And what was that suit? I mean, you know, it's like a guy from the 1890s or something, in a boater's cap and a Searsucker jacket. How does that play into the... And what's more, too, is that image, this guy who is like the T-1000, you just can't kill him, he keeps coming back, and yet he's dressed like from an 1890s boater, right, with a little flower in his lapel and a, you know, blue and white checker suit. You know, it's like a guy, it's kind of like the evil barbershop quartet. Okay, here he comes. That's not him. That's not right. What is this guy? Nice vest. Wow. Did I break the seal? Is that what it is? Now it's zombie rush hour? Man, feast or famine. I even was stupid enough to jinx myself by talking about how, you know, it's been quiet and peaceful, and dude, you shouldn't drink milk if it leaves that much phlegm in your throat. You guys have got to spit that stuff out. Uh-oh. I think that was just your typical zombie miniature torpedo. I sure seem to be leaving a lot of blood down here. Really going through the baked potatoes too. There's a flame or something up there. Yeah. Is it a spawner? Is that what that is? Yeah, it looks like a spawner. But if this was a spawner, I would have way more zombies down here than I do. So something is up. Let's get up there to figure out what's up. And we can plant some torches while we're up here. Ooh. Low ceiling. I guess to plant torches, you gotta have them in your hand, huh? Oh, it's like a red spawner. That's from like supplementaries or Quark or something like that. It's not what you think it is. It doesn't really spawn until you break it, I think. Yeah, monster box from Quark. So I'm pretty sure that when you destroy it, that's when all the monsters in the world are released. And they're basically on top of you too. So it's not, this is not something where you're like, count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then here they all come. No, 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 no. Hey, you're different. A little variety. Change of pace. At least he wasn't a creeper. Ooh, you hear that? Quiet. Okay. Oh boy, I don't know. Yeah, it's time. I see it. I see time has expired. We'll go ahead and finish this row, pick up the bits, and talk about this step and next steps. I didn't make as much progress down here as I would have hoped. Had some interesting diversions. Speaking of that, okay, somebody's down here. Oh, so in a lot of this world is both my favorite and my least favorite of my modded worlds. The things that I love about this world are also the same things I hate about this world. These mods that I installed to make the mobs interesting, they definitely do that. But on the other hand, that can bite me in the butt, literally, and it has. So, but that's something. That is something. Let's get over here. So, jump up. But I kind of hoped that we would have the whole area excavated up, and that we would have made more progress building upward. On the other hand, we did get quite a bit of concrete built, and kind of got a little more organized upstairs. So there's that. We found the monster box. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Yeah, it just it was a challenging episode, and the guy in the seersucker suit knocking me all over the place. I don't know what the deal is with that dude, but he definitely took some of the wind out of my sails. But overall, I think we made some solid progress, and the challenges were there because that's what I'm after. I like some challenges. I definitely got my money's worth this time. So hopefully you got your money's worth this time, and that you'll join me in our next episode. But in the meanwhile, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps just a touch of good fortune. Cheers.